We will be attempting the anterior to posterior tailor mobilization. So, get the foot into a fairly neutral position. Here's where everyone goes wrong, is that there's so much mush in the table, and there's a lot of motion here in the Achilles tendon, that I come around and I get a hold of the malleoli. Then I can feel that the leg isn't moving, because what I want to move is the foot relative to the leg. And I want it to go in a truly anterior to posterior fashion. So I may put it in position with my thigh, securely holding the tib fib. And from there I come in as close grip as I can get to the talus, and I drive the motion from anterior to posterior. In her case, she does not have a lot of motion here. You can see my hand moving a little. So I've taken up all the slack. I'm essentially doing a grade 4 here. Okay? That's that one. So there's a couple of different ways to do the posterior to anterior. Again, the whole idea is to stabilize one bit and move another bit, and convince yourself you're doing that. So in this position, with a lot of people, particularly the smaller feet, I can stabilize. Again, here I am. I'm coming in on the malleoli. The thing I'm using for my grip is the calcaneus, because it will press against the talus. Anteriorly, I get the foot into a nice neutral position, and you'll see some motion on this one. You will see that she is able to slide anteriorly. So here I am. I'm taking up the slack, 3. I'm going to take up all the slack, and here's my 4. And she can probably feel that moving inside there. Okay? And now, if you would, keep the cameras rolling. Flip over onto your front. From here, we would have the table higher. Know that for your exam. I can hold the foot in a nice position using the thigh. I can make sure that that proximal segment isn't going anywhere. I can get around. I'm scooping around the calcaneus. I'm getting right into the talar area. And I am driving posterior to anterior. This position. Okay. Talar crural is that mortise joint. Okay, so there's not a ton of motion. There's a very little bit of motion here. You would use this for someone, say, who has been immobilized for 8 weeks in a cast. So you won't get a lot out of it. Again, you secure the proximal. We're going to move the distal, and I don't just want to bend the foot. I'm going to hold it in a neutral position and truly try to do a lateral to medial glide. And look, I mean, like it. I'm getting a millimeter out of this one. But that's it. Okay, if you need to, you brace against the table. And to the best of your ability, actually swing around, come around this way. Whoop. I might be able to get a slightly better grip here, deep in on the talus, here, and driving. There you go, that's probably my best position. And you can see my 2 hands are barely moving, but that's all you're gonna get. The other side, the medial to lateral, just flip the person over, go the other way. Not a lot of motion here. Bing! So, when we're talking about the talar crural joint, I keep saying the word mortise. It is this mortise joint. See this? It's a block and a square. So, tons of plantar flexion, dorsiflexion motion. Convex on concave, you can figure that out. The side-to-side motion, look, you're not going to get much in there. You're going to get a very little bit side to side. And this is the talus. When we talk about subtalar, it's the stuff sort of distal to the talus. You get a couple of different connections in here. The primary one is the calcaneus and talus. So when you're doing the subtalar modes, you might be able to see in here, there's a bunch of different directions that you can get motion. And we start off with very straightforward. Instead of holding on to the leg, instead of holding on to the malleoli, you bury in here and you try to stabilize the talus as best you can. From there, we are moving the calcaneus.
So this is the subtalar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. You can try to secure the talus as best you can in this position and see if you can get a little anterior push here. You probably won't get a lot. And then you would go side to side and see what you can get.
So that would be a medial to lateral subtalar.
That would be a medial to lateral subtalar. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. talus only bone in the foot that does not have any muscular attachments. So this thing is all passive structural containment in place, all ligaments. Okie dokie.